Big problem in dating is that bitches will do a dude so dirty, so ruthlessly, and then when that dude goes to heal, every fucking female voice that comes online says, don't be ruthless. Be the bigger person. You're the man. Be the bigger man. Don't ever be ruthless. That never fucking works, bro. You have to be ruthless in order to see what these bitches do for what it is. It's ruthless. You can't recognize the ruthlessness without being ruthless. The more and more you listen to female voices like the fucking bitches that come with a criticism about what I got to say, these bitches are hurting men. They don't even fucking realize what they're doing. They try and put this shield around the truth, the type of shit that I talk to you about. They don't want guys hearing this shit. It hurts their fucking agenda. It hurts their strategy. They can't get away with their fucking bullshit the more and more men understand what it is. They don't want you to understand what it is. They want to paint it in a different light. They don't want me talking. Big problem in dating.
Man, this is one of the biggest truths in 1 minute I've ever heard in my entire life. This is so fucking true. They hate when they get exposed, right? On the one hand. On the other hand, they don't want guys doing to them what they're doing to guys. They're just deceitful, man. They're devious. They're devious. Oh man, he's so right on. He's so right on. And I respect this guy. I respect his platform, his page. He speaks a lot of truth. He speaks a lot of big facts. He really is red-pilled. He understands what he's talking about when he's talking about female nature. He really gets it. He gets how women tick. He knows what makes it work with women, and he knows how they are. Yeah, man, you get to a certain point and you realize they're just devious. They're just deceptive. They're devious, and they're like that for no reason. For no reason. The only reason you could come up with at the end of the day is that they are, they're trying to be evil. Like they want to perpetuate bullshit. I don't know why God made them the way they are, man. It really sucks. It really sucks, and you could say it's a deviation. You could say it's from the fall, from sin, maybe, possibly, probably, but they're supposed to help men. They're supposed to love men. They're supposed to care for men. They're supposed to, the Bible says they're helpmeets, help us get through life. But the only thing that really keeps them around is money. The only thing that really keeps them around is lifestyle, status. They're just jacked up, man. That's just the truth. That's the absolute truth of the matter. And they hate it. They hate being exposed. But also, I think we're just coming into the end of the world. Like, we're just coming into the end times. The fact that we came into this industrial revolution, everything's whatever, people aren't dying at 40 anymore, people are they just got freedom to do whatever the hell they want. It has really exposed what's within women, what's within female nature, just the level of deviousness. You see it everywhere. You see it all the time. Even the Bible says you got to be blessed by God in order to find a good wife. Proverbs, whatever, 21:30, I forget what it is, 21:30, the Proverbs woman who's a good wife. You really got to be blessed. The Bible says that. It says he who finds a wife is blessed. He who finds a good woman is blessed. Outside of being blessed by God, it's just the only thing that can keep them around is money. Otherwise you're playing the game. You're playing the hookup game. You're playing the culture, and men are just. I love how he said that they hurt men. It's so true. They hurt men, man, and they hate being exposed for it. And this guy's telling the truth. I respect this guy's channel. I watch this guy's content a lot. They hurt men. That's just a fact. They're out here damaging men, and they don't like being exposed for it. I really want to watch this again. Let's just watch this again.
Is that bitches will do a dude so dirty, so ruthlessly, and then when that dude goes to heal, every fucking female voice that comes online says, don't be ruthless. Be the bigger person. You're the man. Be the bigger man.
Yeah, and then when men get hurt, and then we get angry, and then we start to talk bad about the bad things that women are doing, then we get called misogynist, then we get attacked. So it's like the ultimate form of gaslighting, right? We're just being gaslit every which way you look. We get hurt, then we talk about it, then we're misogynist for talking about it. Like, that's just abuse. Like, for real, that's all that is. That's just straight up abuse, man.
Don't ever be ruthless. That never fucking works, bro. You have to be ruthless in order to see what these bitches do for what it is. It's ruthless. You can't.
Yeah, yeah, exactly true. You can't stay blue pilled and then think you understand women. There's so many guys who just can't break out of that blue pill mold, and they just stay being simps. They're just simps their whole life. And they're like, oh, you know, I should have been a bigger man, or what was lacking in me with the reason why she cheated, the reason why she left. I should have manned up. And it's like, I've seen guys like that, and I don't know if they were raised by single moms. I don't know if they were raised by like narcissistic mothers. But these guys are just out to lunch. Like, no, dude, she's devious. She did you wrong. There's women out here who are doing dudes wrong. They're doing dudes dirty. They're acting ruthless, just like he said. That's the real truth. This whole narrative that women can do no wrong is the biggest load of bullshit. I mean, you got to be blind. You got to be blind and so blue-pilled that you're living in a mental delusion to not see how wicked this world is becoming. And women are at the forefront of that, man. I'm sorry to say. It's just the truth. They're out here sleeping around. They're out here cheating. They're out here doing OnlyFans, doing porn, doing escorting, right? Getting on Instagram, Patreon, selling themselves. Dude, come on, man. Like, you gotta be living in a bucket to frickin', you know, think that, you know, men are the problem. This whole narrative that, like, oh, you know, the patriarchy, misogyny. You're living in a hole, dude. Like, go outside. These women are not oppressed. In fact, they're the opposite of oppressed. They're privileged, and they're running amok. That's the frickin' truth. They're privileged, and they're running amok, and they're acting like they got the world in their palm. They're acting like they're the best. They're acting like they're celebrities, and most of them ain't shit. Because if you're not loving a man, if you don't have morals, you don't have any character, you're not raising kids, being a good mother, you're just sleeping around, you're just partying, you're going to the club, you ain't shit. Now, you might be cool to have sex with. You might be cool for guys to try to hook up with you. All right. Outside of that, what are you offering? You ain't offering shit. You might be good in bed, but how far does that go? Not very far. And a lot of women try to take that to the moon. A lot of women try to ride their sexuality to the moon. They try to use sex to get everything, to get a man, to get a lifestyle, to get a rich dude, to have a family. They use sex to get everything. They use it as a bartering tool, man. And that shit is played out. Guys need to wake up and stop being suckered in by pussy, man. It's you take it or leave it, man. They're giving it away for free to the right guy, to the guy who knows how, like he said, knows how to be ruthless, to the guy who knows how to game her or whatever, or put on a front like he's confident bad boy, whatever. They're giving it away for free to those guys. Probably the reason why you're not getting pussy is because you're a good guy. They don't give pussy to good guys. Being a good dude who's got a good heart, who has good intentions for her, does not get her wet. The opposite of that. Then all of a sudden she puts you in the husband frame, or the maybe I'll date this guy long-term frame, and then all of a sudden your money matters. Then all of a sudden she's lying about her past. Then all of a sudden she's pretending to be a good quality woman when she's got a decade of sleeping around, you know, behind her. Like, that's the real reality, man. Unless you can find someone who's like 20, 21, just coming out of college. Maybe she had a long-term boyfriend in college. I talked to a girl who's a Christian on a dating site the other day. I didn't like her. I wasn't into her, but we were just chatting it up, and we got to talking about body counts. And she said she's only slept with 3 guys. She got married when she was really young, and then she got divorced, and then she had 2 long-term relationships after that. Those are the only 3 guys she slept with. And I was like, you're 31? That's not bad. That's not terrible. There's a lot worse. I knew a girl who was 18 and slept with 20 guys already. And that's probably on the low side in these days. So 3, if you're 30 years old and your body counts 3 and you were married for a little while when you were younger, that's not too bad, man. I mean, for today's day and age, that's not too bad. But I'm just saying, like, it's way worse out there than that. So, and the reason why she was even like that is because she was a Christian. So he's totally correct.
Recognize the ruthlessness without being ruthless. The more and more you live.
Exactly. You can't recognize ruthlessness without being ruthless. I've said this before. The one of the biggest things that red pilled me was when I became a player. I learned how to be a bad boy in my mid-20s, around there. I was in church for a while. You know, when I was younger, I was out doing whatever, trying to play basketball, whatever, wanting to love girls, and I was blue-pilled. I wanted a girlfriend. I wanted love. And I got cheated on. I got ignored. Girls thought I was too nice. I wasn't bad boy enough. I wasn't this or that or whatever. I would get I would get numbers. I would get interest, you know, because I was on the basketball team. I was popular or whatever. I had some status in high school, and girls would like me. I get numbers, but it didn't go anywhere because I wasn't confident enough. I wasn't brash. I wasn't ruthless. I wasn't a player. I learned how to be that way in my mid-20s. And then from like 25 to like whatever, for the next, 7-8 years or whatever, I was really running through women, and I figured it out. And during that time when I was running through women, I was like, oh, they ain't shit. They ain't shit. I'm sleeping with with women who are married, and I didn't even know it. They didn't tell me. I figured it out later. Because I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have, if I had known that she was married, I would have never, but they lied and said they weren't married, or said they were single. I figured it out later. These girls, doing the nastiest stuff on the first date, doing anything and everything, dude. The stuff that these women are doing, you have to be ruthless to recognize ruthlessness. That's absolutely true. I got so red-pilled when I was a player because I saw how these women really are. And they play both sides. They pretend on the one hand they're like, oh, to everybody else besides the dude they're having sex with, or the dudes, plural, that they're having sex with, to everybody else that, they make it look like they're all innocent, whatever. But the dudes who are sleeping with them, they get the freak. They get the other side of them. So I was that dude, and I saw how they were. I saw how they pretended to be one way with other people, and then with me, they were just jumping in bed and doing anything and everything. I saw that firsthand. Totally correct. I was totally red pilled by that. I was like, wow, yeah, it's a complete lie. They're just lying. There's nothing. This is why he says in a second why he says women don't want me to say this stuff, because they think that they have this facade going, and they fool some people. Maybe they fool a lot of people. I don't know. But when you're on the other side of that, and you're the dude who's banging them, you're the dude who's hitting them up at 2 a.m. and they're driving over to suck you off or whatever at 2 a.m. When you're that dude, you see who they really are. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, these women ain't shit.
Listen to female voices, like the fucking bitches that come with a criticism about what I got to say. These bitches are hurting men. They don't even fucking realize what they're doing. They try and put this shield.
Yeah, I think they do realize what they're doing. They do and they don't. Like, sometimes they don't, but I think a lot of times they do realize they're hurting men. And I don't think on the one hand, I don't think they care. On the other hand, I think they like it. That's not saying, that's why I use that word devious. They are like, yeah, I might have used the word demonic. They like hurting people. It's sick, dude. It's fucking sick, dude. They like it. They like that a guy is thinking about them hurting at night while they're sucking some other dude off. They like that shit. That gives them power. That's how fucked up they are. They know, I think they know they're hurting people.
Around the truth, the type of shit that I talk to you about. They don't want guys hearing this shit. It hurts their fucking agenda. It hurts their strategy. They can't get away.
Yeah, that's true. They don't want guys being red pilled. They hate the red pill. That's why there's such a push against the red pill. There's this anti-red pill push where people want to demonize red pill. They want to, because they hate the truth. Evil people hate the truth. Liars hate the truth. People who are trying to deceive hate the truth. It's just facts, man. It's facts. You know, and you can't get around it. Is like they want the facade, and I think that in order to heal, in order to fix our country, in order to fix this situation, you have to have the truth. The truth sets people free. The truth heals people. You have to have the truth, and you have to have accountability. Until that happens, there's going to be no healing, and the world is just going to go down, down, down. The reason why is because when you throw away morals and you throw away love and marriage, the only thing that results is degeneracy, and then that just becomes a culture, and then you just have it can't function. The world can't function. I mean, society, communities can't be healthy when people are degenerates. It just doesn't work. And if you're powerful as a woman, you're powerful in your sin, in your deviation, in your degeneracy, that's like actively damaging communities and society, because you're supposed to be a mother, you're supposed to be a wife, you're supposed to have a good home, and that's what a country is all about. This is where women don't understand the consequences of their actions. They don't understand that they're actually ruining the world. They think, oh, it's my body, my choice. No, you're part of a community, whether you like it or not. You know, everybody is. We all are, whether we like it or not. I don't care if you're depressed, you never come out of the house, you are still part of a community, period. You have a voice, you have power, you're bringing something to the table. This is what a lot of people don't understand, because they're so used to being slaves in the matrix, is you have a lot more power than you think. Just your thoughts, your intentions, you're caring for people. But it is good, and it is good versus evil. It really is. You know, when it comes down to it, like, evil people are parasitic on communities, or I should say, not parasitic. They can be, but they're a sickness to the community. If you're being evil, it's a sickness to the community, and it goes for everything. You know. Promiscuity, sleeping around, or drugs, or gangs, or whatever, prostitution, all these things. This is why these things are illegal, because they're damaging to society, right? And you could say it's parasitic, but I would put promiscuity in that. It's not that it should be outlawed or whatever. Like you know, people can have a freedom of choice, but it is damaging. People have to understand that it's damaging to the community, you know. So I understand these theocracies, these religious countries where they outlaw stuff like that. They don't allow that stuff in their communities, because they know the results. They know that it damages families. They know that it damages their country. Now, their countries also happen to be super messed up anyways, which is, you know, whatever. But you know, it's just, you see it historically. Go look at Rome. The reason why Rome, part of the major reason why Rome fell, was because they just got so degenerate. Everybody, you know, Sodom and Gomorrah, all these major countries. If you do a history, even just Google it, list of countries that fell because of immorality, and it'll just give you a list of countries that of nations, powerhouse nations, that fell because of immorality. It's real. It's real, and he's right. They're hurting men, and one of the saddest parts is that a lot of the men who are hurt are the men who just are lonely. The men who want a good wife, who want love, who want to be, who want a family, and the woman that they would have married is just out being a hoe. Right? The woman that they would have settled down with is just sleeping around, and it's like, dude, you threw away a family, you threw away real love just so you could go get some dick. But it's not even that. It's like they could still do that. They have this whole thing going. It's like it's a lifestyle for them. It's a mindset. They got all it's like a whole, they become a different person. That's why the Bible says, like, if you find a good woman, you're blessed from God, because, like, she's not going to be out on a Friday night. She doesn't have this whole little lifestyle going. You look at some of these girls who are going out, and yeah, it's a spectrum. They're not all super sluts or super hoes at the club. They're not all like that. It's a spectrum, but if you're promiscuous and you're sleeping around, I don't care if you're dating. There's girls that I knew that were like, they wouldn't sleep around per se, but they'd always have a boyfriend, or they'd always have a new boyfriend. This year they got a new boyfriend. Next year they got a new boyfriend. This month they got a new boyfriend. And it's like, that's still a form of sleeping around, right? You might be a little bit more innocent, seemingly. Okay, you don't go out to the clubs, you're not drinking, you're not getting high or whatever, but you got a new boyfriend all the time. Every new season you got a new boyfriend. Who was it? Ghostface Killah, the rapper Ghostface Killah. He said he mentioned this. He was like, man, he's like, man, these girls out here are scandalous. If she takes 4 dudes home a year, 4 dudes home, or excuse me, no. I forget what he said. You can go find the interview, but he says if she takes 4 dudes home a month from the club. Say she goes out to the club every weekend, and she goes home with 1 dude every weekend, 1 new dude. That's 4 dudes a month. After 1 year, that's like 40 dudes, or that's like 48 dudes or something like that. Yeah, it's like 48 dudes. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's only 1 dude a month. Or maybe it's 1 dude every other month. That's still like 6 new guys a year. After like 5 years, that's 30 guys. I dated a girl who told me her body count was over 60. And lo and behold, she was not a really good, she didn't have good morals. I'd say that's pretty average these days. So, dude, he's right, man. I love this guy. Appreciate him.